Howdy folks, I'm Boorish Behemoth, brazenly bulldozing boring billboards.
I'm Amber.
And here are more boring billboards for us to bulldoze down. What more can you say about that? Let's get started. Bernard the Unhinged approves. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Suggesting That My In-Laws Stay at an Airbnb instead of us leaving our home with our kitten? My parents-in-law are visiting us for a week. Because our space is small, a 50-meter square place, they would have to sleep on the couch, which they wouldn't like. So I suggested booking them an Airbnb. That way, they could spend the day with us, enjoy homemade meals. My husband insists on it that way, and we'll get mad if that isn't the case. And then go out and return for dinner at our place before spending the night at the Airbnb comfortably. Well, my husband hated this idea and was furious. He wanted us to leave our apartment for them and stay at an Airbnb ourselves, taking our 3-month-old kitten with us because they hate cats, and then come back every morning to prepare meals, do house chores for them, and spend the day with them. Am I being ridiculous in thinking that this sounds unreasonable? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. Here's an idea, OP. Why don't you and the kitten go enjoy your time at an Airbnb and leave him to cater to his parents every whim?
Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't necessarily even sound like OP has a problem catering to the parents, but where they do kind of have a problem is giving up their home so that the parents can sleep there. It doesn't make any sense. The parents are visiting them, and sometimes people stay in hotels when they're visiting family, right?
Mm-hmm.
This just doesn't even make any sense because it doesn't even change the dynamic. Somebody has to leave the house, right? And then come back. It makes less sense for OP and their partner to leave the house, especially with the cat, right?
Well, and that's the thing is he's expecting OP to him and OP to go to the Airbnb and then come back in the morning to cook and clean and do all this stuff. It's a huge and unreasonable ask. And so I was more to the less tongue-in-cheek when I said that OP should go take the cat.
Yeah.
But it could be a solution if he's the one who really wants his parents there. There's no reason why OP should be dealing with this nonsense.
Exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And 5-Foot Philly says, aside from the ridiculousness of your husband's idea, it's a logistical pain in the butt. You and your husband could be home preparing the meals before the in-laws get there and have them ready when they arrive. His way, the in-laws are sitting around waiting for you, not the jerk. And OP replies, exactly. And then at night, we're supposed to finish all the house chores before leaving? And Yak Certain 5472 says, when you say we're, does that mean both of you? And OP replies, well, mostly me. And Lightly Signed Witch says, why do you accept this as a given? Why not tell him no? No, I don't want to do that. I won't cook or clean for your parents. I won't let them have my space. No, husband. Go on. Make a list of all the things that you have ever done, and the answer is still no. I'm not a servant, and I will not serve. You feel like you owe it to them to provide them 3-star service. Then go on, do it. But out of my living space and without my participation. What is going to happen if you tell him no? Will he let his mother rehome your kitten? Will he let his mom rehome you? Have you tried it? And OP replies, out of hospitality, I didn't mind doing all the cooking and cleaning since we're hosting them. But they pushed me so far that now I'm not doing any of it. The bigger issue for me is how my husband, in his first marriage test, chose to kick me out of the house for his parents' comfort. We need to sort this out before even talking about any guests. Oh, so this is like a first marriage test. That's not good.
No.
Not good at all. And Hammy Hamesh says, wait, first marriage test? How long have you all been married? How long have you all been married? I'm going to guess that this is way about his parents because it's a cultural thing, but is it a normal cultural thing or still is excessive? And OP replies, 12 months. So they've been married for a year. That's not good.
No.
They need to have some real big conversations or this marriage is not going to work.
Well, and the husband needs to start putting OP first. And if his parents can't deal with the couch, which was a perfectly reasonable offer, they can stay in a hotel or an Airbnb.
Exactly. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Let My Girlfriend Hide a Car Accident from Her Insurance? I'm a 25-year-old male, and my girlfriend Allie were driving home from an event when she accidentally scraped a parked car in a tight spot. The car was empty, but the impact left a noticeable dent. Allie immediately suggested that we leave a note offering to pay the owner directly without involving insurance. She said that it would be simpler and wouldn't affect her rates. I said no, and I explained that even if we left a note, that there's no guarantee that the owner won't contact their insurance, and trying to handle it quietly could create serious legal or financial problems for both of us. I offered to help her document the damage and contact the owner responsibly and submit a proper claim, but I refused to bypass insurance. Allie got upset and said that I was overreacting, that I didn't trust her judgment, and that I was making the situation more stressful than it needed to be. She raised her voice and accused me of being unnecessarily rigid, leaving me feeling torn because I know that she's scared about the insurance hassle. I still feel like I did the right thing. Trying to hide or avoid insurance could easily backfire, and her driving record is already not great. But I also understand why she's frustrated and stressed. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
Yeah, OP, I think you're the jerk. I mean, if her driving record is that bad, then why aren't you the one driving? But also, she is an adult. She can make her own decisions. You know, if she can pay for it out of pocket, there's no requirement that you go through insurance to do it.
Well, that's just it. It's like insurance is one of those things where if you need it, then you can use it. And the other person might not even want the contact the insurance because that could also drive their rates up.
Right. Like that's the thing is like even if you're not at fault, sometimes your rates still go up.
Yeah. And so this is one of those situations where, yeah, if it's minor cosmetic damage, the other people may not even care. Like they might just be like, yeah, whatever, it's a scratch. I don't really care. Like unless it's like a Mercedes Benz or like a Lamborghini or something like that, probably 99% of people are just not even going to care if they have a scratch on their car from another car, right? Like, I mean, I've just come back from, places and having dents or scratches on my car because somebody wasn't careful. You know what? Accidents happen. I'm not really too fussed about it. I know not everyone feels that way, but, people make mistakes and sometimes people don't even realize that they've hit a car or something like that, right? Just a small, minor cosmetic damage, right?
Yeah. So I think the girlfriend, as long as she's offering to compensate them somehow, like leaving her information, that's all you need to do.
Yeah, she's even going above and beyond what I think a lot of people do because I haven't gotten any notes on my cars about the damage that people have hit, right? So I think, again, like she's going above and beyond here, and probably the people aren't even going to care and probably would be more upset if it was reported to the insurance just because it might drive up their rates. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And that username is taken says, let your girlfriend. Your girlfriend is an adult that can make her own decisions. You're her partner. Your role is not to be a condescending, overly rigid paternal figure. Why would this affect you financially? She's your girlfriend, not your wife. Do you share finances and bank accounts with her? If not, as long as she's not asking you for money, it's none of your business. A lot of people choose to handle small accidents on their own without involving insurance. Your girlfriend did the right thing by leaving her contact, and as long as the wronged party agrees to handle it off the books, that's on them to make the decision. You're the jerk. And Lower Temperature 21 says, people settle things like this all the time without involving insurance. It's her car, so let her handle it whatever way she wants. And Key South says, you're the jerk. If you're willing to pay out of pocket, then there is no benefit to involving your insurance. Now, I could see if the person she hit refused to deal with her, but I don't understand why you would care. And Ownlet2789 says, you're the jerk. Most states, assuming that you're in the US, don't require you to report a minor accident to insurance. Utilizing insurance is your choice. Her contact might require her to report even a minor accident to ensure coverage, but she wanted to pay out of pocket, so that's moot. You also don't know the other driver's history. They may feel the same as her, or not, but her actions don't prevent them from contacting their insurance and requesting hers at a later point in time. This is not your decision to make. People do this all the time. Yes, you're being too rigid. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Allowing My Housemate to Have Her Boyfriend Stay Over? I decided to rent out my spare bedroom to a single, one person, and I have 2 bedrooms. 1 bedroom unit that I own. A lady moved into my place a few weeks ago and everything has all been fine until the other night. She messaged me earlier that night around 8 p.m. to let me know that her boyfriend would be coming over to help her with putting together a bed. For the record, I didn't know that she had a boyfriend at all until that night. I said no worries. I got home from being out and I noticed some men's shoes outside. I thought, okay, these are the boyfriends. I went to sleep and thought nothing more of it until the following morning when I noticed the toilet seat was up and a guy had clearly used it last. Plus, the shoes were still there. Then I messaged this lady and I told her that that's all fine to have visitors over, but they cannot stay the night as the room has been advertised for 1 person and no couples. Having someone stay over somewhat regularly isn't consistent with single occupancy. I also felt uncomfortable as I don't know this person and it's my home. She then went on to say that she should have told me and that it won't happen again without telling me. Then I reiterated that it's not a problem for her to have guests or visitors come over, but they are not to stay the night. She then came back and said that this was an unfair trade and that she has to be upfront that this will happen occasionally, that this is common sense and legal for her to have people stay over, that she never expected restrictions before. This was all over text, and to be honest, I felt uncomfortable, so I suggested that we meet in person to discuss further. I won't compromise on this particular rule, and we'll be clear on this when we meet, but am I the jerk for being unreasonable? Edit, there's a rental agreement, but I didn't realize that I had to explicitly say no sleepovers. Alright folks, what do you think?
Yes, OP, you're being the jerk. Most, this should have been spelled out in your lease, like if there's a restriction on how many times someone can have someone over. But it is common for people to be allowed to have overnight guests. And if it is not spelled out in your lease that she can't have overnight guests, then you're kind of up a creek.
Yeah, so there are certain laws where basically if someone stays at your house for a certain number of days or something like that, then they'll become a tenant or something like that. So I can understand why OP wouldn't want extended stays or anything like that, because that can make that much more difficult, right? But I don't think that unless they have this really in black and white and that they went over the contract with the person, that they can actually enforce this. I don't think that's enforceable. I really don't. And I would be very careful if I were OP, because if their tenant goes and gets a lawyer, then this is going to cost them a lot more time, energy, and effort, right? So I understand that this is their home, but when you rent out your apartment, when you rent out a room to somebody, then you have to expect that they're going to have guests over, right?
It's no longer just your home, it's theirs too.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What is a zombie's favorite cereal?
Oh, I would say a zombie's favorite cereal is Honey Nut Cheerios, because they have the little life preservers in them, and so you can save people. I don't know.
Raisin Brain.
Ah, well, raisins do look like little brains.
And it's totally unrelated, but it's Mean Girls Day today.
Oh, so watch Mean Girls and don't be a mean girl.
Yes.
And I have Earl Grey. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy, fantastic, finally Friday, folks. I can't believe it's finally here. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on entitled requests.
It is not reasonable to expect your partner to vacate your house and then come back and wait on your parents hand and foot. That is an entitled request.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.